We want to hear from you. You are important to Deep Funding. So we want to see your presentations of community initiatives. If you've been awarded funding for a project, we'd like to know what's going on. What challenges are you facing? What milestones have you reached? What things did you not expect to see and you are now seeing? We are not here to judge or criticize, at least not badly anyway. We are just here to listen and figure out the best ways to help. And another way you could, share with the rest of the communities by hosting a breakout room about a specific topic. You just have to reserve a presentation slot, and yeah, you get to host a breakout room about a specific topic there. And this is
hi everyone. So I'm Daniel Ospina. I'm part of R&DAO, which is a venture builder and product ecosystem. And through R&DAO, we started TogetherCrew, which was one of our first projects focused initially on community analytics. So we started building a few data pipelines for Discord and other community platforms, and then providing community managers with analytics. And then since we had essentially already access to all that data, we're like, oh, what interesting things can we do with that data? And the basic use cases we had in mind for these. And then we see a bigger future potential where the tool could evolve to not only provide information, but also connect with other agents, and through that move from insight to action. So let's say there was a meeting last week, or let's say this town hall, I couldn't attend it, so I get a summary. It says, oh, you have 8 days left to apply for this grant. And then it tells it, I tell it, oh, can you find me the link for that grant and draft me an application based on this information about my project. Here is the documentation I have about our strategy and internal documentation, and you feed that to the agent, and it goes and drafts you a thing and applies for you, etc. So that's kind of like a long.
And I think that our hosts may have interceded, but like I'll ask a quick question, which is like, oh my God, I am in the process of making something similar. I would like to not do that. I would like to like adopt and contribute. How can I follow up and go deeper?
So you can go to TogetherCrew.com, basic website. For the contributor path, if you go to, I'm going to put it in the chat, but if you go to rndao.io and you join the Discord, that's where the project is being hosted. So you join the R&DAO Discord, introduce yourself, mentioning that you want to contribute to TogetherCrew, and the R&DAO community manager will invite you to a call to explain how our ecosystem works and connect you to the team. It would be absolutely amazing to collaborate. As I was just saying to Jan, kind of like the real bottleneck for how fast and how amazing we can make this is how much we can collaborate and bring people together rather than duplicate the wheel. We generally work with what we...
And that's the beauty of a town hall, right? So now we have Victor with Daniel, both working together probably in the future. So that's why we need all of you to apply in new topics, to come here with your projects and discuss. Yeah, that's a good outcome and example.
okay. I think we are good to go now. All right. Hi everyone. Hi Niels. Hi everybody. Hi Daniel. Hi Emmanuel, Francis, Jan. Bamsi.
Hey, hi GM.
Yeah. Hi Hadi. Rafael, Presa. Hello Siva, Rafael, and a few I think American names I can't really pronounce. Hello everyone, and welcome to this. I think this is the second town hall of the month, and I am so privileged to be your host today. My name is Mary McQuarrie. I am a member of the event circle here at Deep Funding, and today I would be your host. Yes, hi Ms. Hadi, and I'm so glad that I get to do this with you. today. So just to kick off a little, so I'd like to share a bit of a story. So about a little over a decade ago, I came up with this very interesting idea to have a cafe, right? Like a coffee shop, like I'd seen in the movies then, because I had this obsession with coffee even as a teenager. And I really wanted to build a coffee shop that was also going to serve as a library and serve as a workspace and serve as a nap room for people who needed to get shut eye in the afternoon. And at the time in Lagos, Nigeria, where I live, it wasn't a popular idea to drink coffee. It wasn't a popular idea to be obsessed with coffee or to want to be a barista or to want to have a co-working space or the rest of it. And it was such an interesting idea because I had created the business plan. I was talking to all of my seniors at the time about it. But the only thing stopping me was money. I did not have the money to fund the idea. I haven't thought about not using a land space of sorts or just using a giant tent and save up on real estate. I had everything down to the tiniest detail, but I didn't have the money to do it. And that's the interesting thing about not having money. In a few years, somebody has the same idea as yours, has more money than yours, and the idea takes up maybe not even as great as you probably would have. And I was just really I recently I was thinking about it, I was sharing with a friend that I hated not having money then, and I hate not having money for my ideas when they do come. Um, because you'd find that we do not really celebrate ideas, not because they are weak, but because, funding and chasing funding is always such a difficult thing. And innovation is something that we celebrate after it succeeds, but it's rarely, funded before it proves itself. That's why platforms such as Deep Funding is so exciting. It is a shift in how we support visionary builders and bold ideas. We are using decentralization to democratize opportunity. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, how you sound like, your class, your social background, your educational background, even. We are not waiting for gatekeepers here to say, yes, we are creating new pathways for funding. The next frontier of AI, of decentralized solutions, decentralized innovations. And so if you are a builder, a dreamer, a contributor, or you're just curious, this is the right room for you. Deep Funding is the right platform for you. So yeah, we are so grateful for Deep Funding because now my ideas may not be really coffee shop centered, it's more AI centered, and I'm really glad that this is an opportunity. This is a platform, a community that I get to leverage on, and it's very much important for me, especially as a young Nigerian woman. So yeah, welcome to Deep Funding. For the newcomers, welcome again to the OGs and the old timers and the grandfathers of Deep Funding. Welcome, 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 everybody. It's going to be an interesting town hall. We have a lot to discuss, and we're just going to, do about 5 minutes of icebreaker that Priscilla is going to lead us on, so that we get to, interact with ourselves just a little before we get into all the technical and non-technical things. So yeah, Priscilla, over to you.
Yeah, hello guys. Welcome once again. So for today, our icebreaker won't take much time. We just want your feedback on how far you think this icebreaker has been. So we have a poll that Mayor will put on the screen so that you pick what you think about the icebreaker. So we'll give everybody like 60 seconds to go through that. Then Miriam will continue. Please, I would like to have a reaction from you guys if you can see the poll. Maybe you could give a thumbs up or laughing emoji or something for us to see the poll. Sure. Yeah, we have like 20 seconds, so please put in your feedback, then we close this chapter for Miriam to continue. Great. Okay. I hope everyone is done. I hope everybody has submitted their feedback. Thank you all for giving us your feedback. Miriam, please, you can continue. Hi, Miriam. Can you hear me?
Okay, are we done?
Yes, please, we are done. You could continue.
Okay, so based on the results, we love them. I love them as well. I mean, I got to hear very interesting takes on, for instance, the particular day we talked about traveling around the world or eating, I think it was eating whatever country cuisine, something like that. And Jan's takes were very, very interesting to hear. And it was also very interesting to learn how different, but yet not so different we are as a global village, really. So yes, we're going to keep up with the icebreaker. Yay! All right then, guys. So we're just going to move into the agenda of the day, and I'll be sharing my screen now. So just give me a second. Okay. Let's minimize this. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right then. Brilliant. So yes, again, welcome to Deep Funding Town Hall. Our agenda for today, we are going to be learning about what deep funding is. This is especially for people who may be new to the community and the platform. We're going to be hearing some very crucial announcements. We're going to be hearing from Rafael the deep funding RFP opportunities that are currently available. We're going to be hearing from the deep fundings on Onchain Hub. I think it's on AI Onchain Hub, and then TogetherCrew, Hivemind, and then we are going to just be reflecting on events so far, our initiatives so far, just for us to catch up and really interact with one another. So yeah, for those of us who may be new to the community, Deep Funding is a decentralized grants program tasked to fund projects and initiatives that are beneficial to SingularityNET. Now, this is very important, like the story I shared about me not having funding for the coffee shop I wanted. Funding is something that is really crucial, right? If I had started my idea all those years ago, I might have been a pioneer in the industry in Lagos. And now there are coffee shops everywhere, so it doesn't seem like a big deal anymore. That's because it's more accessible now. So think about how much funding can play into roles, ideas and innovations that are really, really interesting. So yeah, but in this case, deep funding is funding initiatives and ideas that are beneficial to SingularityNET. And at SingularityNET, our mission is to create a democratic, decentralized, beneficial AGI. And our values are centered around openness, creativity, collaboration, and kindness. And these values reflect how we operate and intend to achieve our mission. We do not take these values for granted. We keep it as our focal point with all of our initiatives and all of our interactions across teams and across board. So yeah, Deep Funding is a community-run program. We propose ideas, we vote on initiatives, we review proposals, initiatives, ideas, we discuss, and then we are structured into circles, right? Think of it as teams, basically. And there are a couple of circles that currently are in operation in Deep Funding, and if you'd like to be a part of them, you can just visit the community website, and there are essential and proper information about those circles there. So yeah, this town hall is for you. This is where we gather to discuss everything related to deep funding. It is the perfect place to learn, ask questions, and start your deep funding journey. So yeah, the best way to get into this community. You can join circles, you could book presentation slots, you could calendar all of our deep funding events. Right now, my calendar has every town hall for the rest of the year. So I'm always reminded that I've got town hall coming up, even beyond the fact that it is work, right? And then you could keep track of circle progress and work as well. And we want to hear from you. You are important to deep funding. So we want to see your presentations of community initiatives. If you've been awarded funding for a project, we'd like to know what's going on. What challenges are you facing? What milestones have you reached? What things did you not expect to see and you are now seeing? We are not here to judge or criticize, at least not badly anyway. We are just here to listen and figure out the best ways to help. And another way you could, share with the rest of the communities by hosting a breakout room about a specific topic. You just have to reserve a presentation slot. And yeah, you get to host a breakout room about a specific topic there. And this is just like image for it. So yes, that's basically the introduction to deep funding town halls. And the rest of this is stuff for Rafael to talk about. So I think I have to stop sharing my screen now. Okay.
Well, Miriam, are you talking about me or Rafael Presa?
No, Rafael Presa.
All right.
Yeah, I guess it's my time to give some news on RFPs, right? But it's interesting, Mariam. It's interesting that you mentioned about the coffee shop anecdote of yours, because I'm working from one right now. So yeah, it's relatable, right? And it's very nice. And thank you all of you for being here and participating to this town hall. It's always very, very, very good to have you here contributing and also understanding how we can improve the decentralization of artificial intelligence. Pretty quick note from Deep Funding side, we have extended the RFP in 8 more days. So you still have a week actually to go there, go into our portal, deepfunding.ai, go into the tab projects, and then you can find the RFPs that are still open that goes from quantum machines and to AI. So we are expecting to receive even more quality, as we have seen already, quality proposals into those RFPs, okay? So, yeah, that would be one. Also, another note that I can disclose here, considering we have many people from the community or from our ecosystem that gets in contact with deep funding operations. We are, in the next week, opening a channel in our Mattermost channel for support as well, as many of you many times don't know who to reach in case you have doubts about operations, payments, and so on. We are opening this channel for you to accommodate your questions as well and requests, okay? Just a side note into what we are cooking for you. So back to you, Mariam. Thank you.
Okay, then. All right. I hope we all got that's the new info, the new updates on the RFP opportunities here at Deep Funding. So we've got a few critical announcements. Now, some things are a bit too techy for me to really explain. So we're going to have Mayor come explain, but just to give you a bit of an introduction. So we are changing our currency. We are now going to be using FET. And it's very, very important to be very careful with the process of selling your FET to ADA or whatever currency you usually swap to. So Mayor, do you want to explain the technical side for everybody now?
Okay, so we are converting from AGIX to FET. It's more like a as a result of the merger which we had with FET, SingularityNET, Onchain protocol, and FET itself, they combined into a one project which we call ASI, which is artificial intelligence, super intelligence. And now we are migrating from payments in AGIX to FET, and then I think there's still going to be a migration from FET to ASI. But the migration from FET to ASI will be more like a change of code, or how should I put it? More like a change of letters, because the FET currently is still ASI, I think. So in this case, wallet address will remain the same, still on Cardano, like we have always been making payments, and the liquidity now will be migrated from AGIX liquidity down up onto FET. So there will be there will be no issues with swapping your tokens, right? You can still follow the same process of using decentralized exchange like MinSwap to swap your FET tokens to whatever tokens that you feel like you want to hold, be it stablecoin, be it ADA, and so on. And you can as well, if you feel like there is not enough liquidity in the DEX or in the pool for large swaps, I don't think you will have an issue with that, because from the last time I checked the MinSwap liquidity, it had about 1 million ADA. And I don't think anybody would like to perform swaps of up to 1 million ADA. But in case there is slippage issues and all those kind of stuff, then it's possible that you can bridge your FETs from the Ethereum chain directly to, from the Cardano chain that you're being paid in directly to the Ethereum chain. Then from Ethereum chain, you can always as well send it out to an exchange where you have a lot more liquidity for that. So those are the two processes of swapping the current FETs, which I think there are no other ways, except maybe SNET announces some other way of swapping. But as for right now, those are the two ways I know that you can perform those kind of swap.
Okay, then thank you so much, Mary. I hope we all got that. We have moved from AGIX to FET, and the procedure for swapping is basically the same. But please be really careful when you're trying to convert your FET to other currencies or the ADA and stuff. Just, check and check and check. Act like you're 75 and you can't see the screen. Check a million times before you hit approve or confirm, whatever, confirmatory text. Okay, so finally on the critical announcements part, there's a new profile optimization on the Deep Funding platform, right? Okay, I have to share my screen again. Hold on a second. Okay, so can everyone see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is basically the new profile optimization we have to do. So your photo, your name, your career, location, then just fill up all these spaces just as you do any other profile optimization. So please enable to, let's try and do that as quickly as we can. We apologize for any inconvenience you may experience while trying to get this done. But yeah, basically we just need to just fill this up. It's not so difficult and it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, that is basically it. Okay, moving on to...
I'll just add, Mariam, so this is the profile for the Deep Funding platform. So whenever you guys are proposing or being part of a team, it's what people will be able to see to check your previous experience, check what you've done. So it's definitely a great way to start, I don't know, creating a reputation, showing your track record, and hopefully help you get funded whenever you're applying to anything, whether it is an RFP, an idea, or whatever, a normal round. This profile is going to be very important. So better start thinking on how to make it as crisp as possible. Thanks, Mariam. Please continue the great work.
Thank you, Rafael. I hope we got that. Think of it as Deep Funding's version of LinkedIn. So it's just put all your work things there and personal details that are essential for everybody to get to know you, right? Like I said, it's a pretty straightforward process, so we shouldn't have any issues trying to fill up the spaces and the slots. Okay, so now we are moving into something very important for the night. And that is the Onchain Hub. And for that, we have okay, hold on, give me a second, sorry.
Hey,
And for
hi,
that, we
Mariam.
have Vamsi.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Hi,
So
Mariam.
I'm supposed to. Do you have host controls? Are you sharing your screen?
No, I don't have a presentation yet, so I would just be like explaining about our initiatives. I hope that's fine.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Yes, that's totally fine.
Yeah. So yeah, hi everyone. I'm Vamsi. I'm representing Onchain Hub here. So we have just started a community recently, like this week itself, and I'm pumped up to announce that we have already crossed 100 members. Just today we reached like 100 milestone, and we are going to have our first town hall tomorrow, community town hall. Yeah, I'm glad to attend the first town hall of the deep funding town hall as well. So like I would like to give a brief intro about myself as well before we talk about the initiatives of Onchain Hub and all. So yeah, like since my childhood, I have always been a had a passion for tech since my childhood. I have been building and breaking things, right? So I have always wanted to give back to the community. So we have been hosting events in India for the from the last 3 years, like across India. We have been in the Web3 space, hosting AI and Web3 events. We have also hosted several Web3 hackathons. We have a community called 240 CMPM Studio. So we have been hosting events through this community, right? It's totally community run events, hackathons. We just get grants from other ecosystems, and it's free. We have always kept these events and hackathons free for the participants. We never collected anything for either for the accommodation or anything. So yeah, recently as well we have done one Hackers Goa. It had like 300 participants, and we got around 107 projects. So that's one of the milestones that we had earlier. So yeah, like I've been following Deep Funding and SingularityNET, Fetch AI projects as well from quite long time. Actually, pretty much impressed with the work, right? Especially the Web3 native LLM model on Fetch.ai. I've been using it for some time. It's actually good. So yeah, like so I'm also currently working at Arbitex. It's a payment infra company. We provide white labeled crypto cards, right? So yeah, I've been involved in the Web3 ecosystem for the last 3 years. So that's pretty much about me. Yeah, coming to Onchain Hub. So like I believe in decentralized AI, not just like I believe in community run hackathons and community run events. So that's one of the reasons why have we have applied for the uh, community hub program, right? So I hope like with the funding support, we will be scaling our community throughout Asia and not just limited to India. So we want to, so starting we'll be conducting town hall events, right? Virtual events mostly. Explaining about, we'll be talking about like starting from intro to AI, intro to Web3 to opportunities, and we'll be also be doing developer hubs where we will co-code and we'll be building our own projects. And yeah, the main goal is to like drive more registrations to the deep funding RFP. So we'll be talking about that as well, and we'll be encouraging our community to we'll be basically helping them to draft a proposal, right? We'll be mentoring them with that. So yeah, uh, yeah. Any questions from your side, Mariam?
Okay, thank you, Vamsi. Are there any questions for Vamsi and what he's doing at the Onchain Hub?
Yeah, I have one. Hello.
All right.
Hi, Vamsi.
Yeah.
Do you have
Hi, Victor.
I'm curious about the how to engage. Is there a link that like a call to action for us here?
Yeah, sure. We have a WhatsApp community as of now. I would like to share our WhatsApp community link. Just a minute.
Thank you. I'll watch the chat for your response.
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay. Ali, NetConf, your hand is up. The floor is yours.
Yes, hi, long time no see. So
Hi.
you, we are organizing an NetConf in Argentina for the 31st of May. We are over 500 people that registered, so we are expecting 1,000. And I just wanted to come by, say hello, and obviously wanted to publicly congratulate Bamsi and the Indian team because they are about to open the Indian chapter for AI and deep funding, and I couldn't be more happy about it. We personally know the rest of the team that is gonna work to be the best and have the most impact in India, and they are awesome. They've been building for a long time. They have been doing and shipping lots of real world impact, and I just wanted to congratulate Bamsi. So happy that you guys are here and that you're gonna pull this off. I hope it turns out super cool, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Ali. They actually got a lot of support from NotConf folks. Actually, they have suggested us. Actually, they are the ones who introduced us to deep funding, and they have been encouraging us to apply for the Community Hub RFP. Thank you so much for all the support.
Yay, thank you so much, Ali, and congrats again, Bamsi. We wish you the best of luck. All right, Aya, you are raising your hand. Hi, Hogan.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, all right, thank you. So by the way of further introduction or context, Onchain Asia is one of Deep Funding's community hub from the community hub RFPs. So this was his introduction about the hub to the general Deep Funding community. So and then you can catch up with events for community hubs via the community website. Every event being hosted by the community hubs, you'll be able to access through the community website in case you want to be part of what they are doing or you want to visit and and things like that. So yeah. And then in future, we would also work towards having community hubs represented on the community website so that you can also get more details about them and about their work. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay then, brilliant. Okay, are there any more questions for Bamsi? Ali, are you just giving a thumbs up or do you want to say something else?
No, just some thumbs ups.
Okay then, brilliant. All right, thank you, Bamsi, for your time. Thank you for coming to share with us. And yeah, good luck on all of your projects and the great work you're doing for the people of India. Okay then, so next on our agenda, we're supposed to hear from TogetherCrew, Hivemind, and for that we have Daniel. Daniel, are you here?
Hello.
Oh, are you in space? Is that the background? Is that some machine? Okay, so everyone,
Nice background.
yeah, it's very robotic. Okay, hi Daniel, over to you, Daniel. Are you sharing your screen?
In a minute. Hi everyone. So I'm Daniel Ospina. I'm part of R&DAO, which is a venture builder and product ecosystem. And through R&DAO, we started TogetherCrew, which was one of our first projects focused initially on community analytics. So we started building a few data pipelines for Discord and other community platforms, and then providing community managers with analytics. And then since we had essentially already access to all that data. We're like, oh, what interesting things can we do with that data? And somewhere around GPT-2, one of our developers was like, it seems like this whole technology is going to evolve, and we could do some really interesting things to enable people to use the whole community data. So we started exploring that, and a little bit later, thanks to the partnership with SingularityNET, so a grant from SingularityNET, then we started developing these thing that at the time we call Hivemind. Since we stopped using the term Hivemind, we just call it TogetherCrew because it kind of took over the whole project and became the most interesting part. But essentially it's using this AI system to leverage all the community data. So some of the things that we have done since is add a lot of new data sources. So right now, TogetherCrew can access Discord, Telegram, Discourse, so that's the forums, GitHub, Google Drive, Notion, Wikimedia. I'm probably forgetting another one. I think also website scraping is now available as well, so you could feed it any website that you want. And it's really built as an open source tool with a very modular architecture. So anyone who wants could add a new data pipeline to the tool. We'll do some code review and then we'll just merge it. But let's say, if, for example, the SingularityNET community wanted to add Mattermost, that could very easily be done by yourselves or anyone who wants. And if you want to add some custom tool data source, you can also do it. So that's the idea. Is like, hopefully we don't end up with every single tool out there trying to create their own AI to do search and Q&A. But we can have the system that is a little bit more robust, and I'll go on to explain how the system works and some of the problems it solves. But hopefully we have the system that different people can just leverage for their application. Because in our research, what we found is the average community manager is using in between 5 to 6 different tools for their community, and is the same thing for organizations. So if you need to search across 5 to 6 different tools, it's a nightmare. Like already often I'm like, I'm sure I discussed with my friend Carlos about this thing we were doing on Saturday, but I have no clue if we discussed in WhatsApp or in Telegram or in an email or, you know, wherever the fuck. So this idea of being actually able to search across tools can save us a tremendous amount of time. And also provides a little bit of defensibility for the tool, because who knows when Telegram or Discord or one of these tools is going to create their own AI, and we're like, does it actually make sense to go and spend, you know, all these months building this technology if maybe just some of the corporate players are just going to replace us? But the thing that ultimately they cannot do very well is this cross-platform thing, and that's where a lot of the value comes from. So then with kind of this basic idea, we start thinking, okay, how should this agent work? And what problems does it really solve? So some of the basic things is, I'm sure someone's shared a link somewhere about topic X, and for the life of me, I cannot find it. Like, oh, I want to apply to the next Deep Funding grants, and I know the link was shared somewhere, but I don't know where it is. It's a nightmare to go find it. I need to go scrolling, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of like one basic use case. The other one is customer support. And so if you have people joining a community, they're likely going to ask the same question over and over and over and over and over and over, right? Anyone who's done community management or customer support knows how annoying this can be. And even if there is documentation, no one actually wants to ever read the documentation. They'll just ask the question. So we might as well create something that works a little bit more in the way that they work, and so on. And then there is a third use case around search and summarization. So I imagine a lot of you have come up, if you've ever been in like the SingularityNET, the one that talks about token price, in that chat, if you go away for 5 minutes and come back, there is like 10 gazillion messages there already. And you're like, how the hell did so many people talk so quickly? And probably within that, there were maybe 2 messages that you actually care about, and the rest you probably don't. But if you have to read all of that, it's impossible. Now, token speculation is very time sensitive, and it doesn't matter too much. But let's say we're talking about governance of DAOs or more in-depth conversations about topic. Let's say you're part of a community of lawyers. Well, there is a lot of things that are being discussed. Some topics you're interested in, some topics not. So if you can have some sort of summary of what's happened since I'm away and across the multiple platforms, and then be able to dig deeper in the things that interest you, like you can have an overview of the rabbit holes and then you pick the rabbit holes you want to go deeper, that would be awesome. So those were kind of like the basic use cases we had in mind for these. And then we see a bigger future potential where the tool could evolve to not only provide information, but also connect with other agents, and through that move from insight to action. So let's say there was a meeting last week, or let's say this town hall, I couldn't attend it, so I get a summary. It says, oh, you have 8 days left to apply for this grant. And then it tells it, I tell it, oh, can you find me the link for that grant and draft me an application based on this information about my project. Here is the documentation I have about our strategy and internal documentation, and you feed that to the agent, and it goes and drafts you a thing and applies for you, etc. So that's kind of like a long-term future where, let's say, the basic technology we're building could connect with a lot of other specialized agents to do more tasks. And of course, that will require a lot of infrastructure and collaborations, etc. But is kind of like a really exciting future of how the future of work could look like. Especially if we collaborate with other people who are building things in this space as well. So then kind of coming back to our basic use case that internally we refer to as knowledge management, is not a very sexy term. People don't really like it. If I say how to avoid scrolling through 50 annoying messages and just find the one you care, that resonates. Knowledge management, not so much. But just kind of like for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to refer to it about knowledge management, which is kind of like the technical term for it. So some of the key technical issues that we had to deal with is there is such a huge volume of information that even very advanced AI LLMs cannot really parse through this information well. And a lot of them start to hallucinate and invent their own things. So you actually end up with a lot of responses that are just untrue, inaccurate, or just partial information. And this is in good part because if you want to keep up with, let's say, a Telegram chat where 100 people are talking, a lot of the messages are just very information poor. Like a lot of good morning, hello, ha, 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 that was so funny. And, you know, like there is just a lot of noise. So we need to find a way to be able to condense that information and then search through very large volumes of data. So we have a really amazing researcher that's been working with us, and he's actually doing a PhD in University of California, Santa Barbara in neurology. So he's working in neurology and AI, and they work in a lab where they clone the neurons. So they use stem cells to clone neurons, and they create like what they call an organoid, which is kind of this mini brain. They put it in a Petri dish, and then they study the electrical impulses that they generate. And then they use AI to understand that. And then they use the knowledge to improve AI and the understanding of AI to improve their understanding of the brain, etc. So it's like this super interesting lab that they're working on. And he came up from his research, he came up with this idea of using a little bit the brain architecture for memory. So the brain uses different types of memory to optimize for different tasks. So you get a little bit like what is called like muscle memory. If you do the same thing many times over, you can just do it again very quickly, almost without thinking. So that consumes very little capacity. You're also using stories to make sense of bigger narratives and aggregate data. So you're kind of creating summaries and creating some sort of cohesive understanding of what the past was. And then you also have like your short-term memory of what's happened more recently. So essentially, we end up translating these into multiple agents that are doing some of these functionalities. So when you ask a question to TogetherCrew, the first thing is there is an orchestration agent that's going to try to understand what type of question this is and how should we go about it. So a lot of that usually ends up being either the agent is going to pick some of our tools, like if this is about asking for a link, then it's going to go find the link. The link finding is not live, by the way. This is just an R&D stage, so we're still working on it, but that's the direction. But if you want a summary, that's like a more specific function that you can do. So you have this first orchestration agent. And then when we're talking about a question like a search sort of function, we break that down, that question, into sub-questions, because most questions are kind of like very ambiguous and not very clear. So we have an agent that sort of clarifies that and makes it easier for the machines. And then we start searching. And then a lot of the information is also, as is being processed on regular basis, is also being condensed and summarized. So in a way, we're kind of creating these sort of narratives of what the bigger picture is with some connection to the primary data. So in the way, the search agent is mostly searching through summaries that have been created, and then through those summaries can dig deeper. And then we have another evaluation agent that is checking that the agent is not inventing a lot of bullshit, but is actually really relevant to the original source. And finally, we're also linking to the original data if you want to go and dig deeper. So even if everything goes wrong and the summarization agent doesn't do its job properly, if the evaluation agent doesn't do its job properly, and for some reason the AI is still giving you a bunch of crap, if you click on the links, you'll realize that it's not connected. And then you actually get to the real data and you can dismiss the fake information. So we can have these multiple fail-safe mechanisms. I'm probably bastardizing the explanation a little bit. If anyone really wants to dig into the technical side, let me know. I introduce you to my technical people. I'm not technical, so I'm giving you the pitch. But that's directionally how we've been going about it. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to kind of raise your hand and interrupt me. And if not, I'm going to continue and kind of show you a little bit more what the tool looks like. Jan. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. The most famous word in Zoom. Yeah, I thought you were finished, but if you have something to present first, then maybe you want to do that first and we can have a chat later on.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe I can show you then quickly what TogetherCrew looks like. So essentially, this is the thing. So save time is our main value proposition. We're getting a bunch of different communities who are starting to use it. A-powered Q&A, analytics and segmentation. We can also send messages to a lot of people in Discord, and we also can calculate reputation. So we already built a reputation engine for Arbitrum, and we actually have now recently won a new RFP with SingularityNET that we're super excited about, to evolve this system and evolve SingularityNET reputation system together. So thank you a lot for the trust. We look forward to working together, and community health metrics. So anyway, if you go try now and kind of log in, you'll see your different communities. But yeah, actually, let me log in here. So I'm using my Discord to log in this case. Let me go to the R&DAO community. And here you have some of the analytics that will probably load in a second. There we go. We also have a member graph. I'll show you that. So we analyze who's talking with whom to understand the information in context. There is some exciting research possibilities there to then map who said what to whom with the knowledge, and using knowledge graphs to refine all the search function. But anyway, we don't have the capacity to go into that just yet, hopefully in the future, and so on. And then here there is this agent that you can ask him to tell you a joke about the community or search different things. But while he's there thinking about the joke, I'm just going to show you quickly what this can look in Telegram. So this is the TogetherCrew community. We have 208 members. Yeah, and usually when someone joins, there is Katrina, one of my co-founders, like, hey guys, what brings you here? So I came in and asked, what are the reasons for why people usually join this community? So I'm just putting these in the chat. And you see 11:25, I asked that question, and then within less than a minute, so I don't know exactly how long, but 11:25, the bot went and told me, so people are interested in collaboration, learning, networking, etc., different things. And actually, you can see some of the original data of what the people were coming here together asking related to that summarization. So the system still needs a few improvements, but that's the basic thing. We can also do the same thing in Discord. So to do it quickly, I ask here, what is the Meetwith team discussing about? So Meetwith is one of the teams in this RNDAO Discord. And it tells you, yeah, a range of topics, calendar integration, rescheduling meetings, functionality, et cetera, enhancing scheduling. And it even gives me overall, the aim is to discuss the product refinement and ensure it meets user needs. And I can go deeper into some of the references to validate what it's saying or dive deeper into these conversations. Maybe let me stop it there for the demo, and then if there is more specific questions, etc., I can show you more of how it. Oh, actually, so last thing I'm going to show you, and we're excited of this collaboration. So we have the peer-to-peer foundation, which is if you want, the wiki where the original Bitcoin paper was published, on top of some other 50,000 research articles around peer-to-peer collaboration and so on. So these guys have an amazing knowledge base, and we're using TogetherCrew to create these search agent on top of them. So this is not live yet. This is the next milestone, and the last milestone actually we have before a sort of launch campaign. But this will be live very soon, and anyone will be able to go to this website and search through all the amazing knowledge in the peer-to-peer foundation knowledge base. So with that, Jan, maybe back to you.
Well, it was a good choice to let you do the demo first, because you already answered my question while doing so. And my main question, as you might have guessed, was about reputation. You talked a lot about content, but I wondered if you would also use the people and give a reputation to people, and that way use that in the scoring of the messages that are being published by them. But I think it's more or less answered. I would like to thank you for this presentation, because I knew about Hivemind, but also a little bit in my periphery as it sometimes goes, and this clarifies a lot. And yeah, I think we should have a follow-up chat and see how we can put the product to use also for deep funding. It must have a huge potential also for us. Last thing maybe is, when do we get a Mattermost plugin for Hivemind?
Yeah.
I'm not putting you on the spot here, but that might be something to consider or think about.
Like we'd love to. We're a little bit strained for funding. Like we have the new RFP with you guys, but this spare capacity is kind of weekends outside of that. So maybe there is, like, we have it in the roadmap. We actually put it there, but when we can get to it, not sure. If it's possible to fund it, I can go and try to cost it. Or again, anyone, if you have any developer resources, we are very happy to support them in mentoring them how to do it. It's not super difficult, but it's a piece of work. I can check with the team when we could feasibly deliver it, but it kind of, yeah, it becomes a question of, can we afford to do it soon, kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's a topic for a follow-up conversation. We are also having some renewed efforts on reputation and reputation-related thing throughout our ecosystem. So a colleague of mine who I just pointed to actually the recording of this video might have some more ideas of useful information that we would like to, or that we could maybe merge in the tool or another way. But this is part of a longer conversation that we will have soon after, I hope. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Victor was next.
Thank you, Daniel. And I think that our hosts may have like interceded, but like I'll ask a quick question, which is like, oh my God, I am in the process of making something similar. I would like to not do that. I would like to like adopt and contribute. So how can I follow up and go deeper?
So if you, well, you can go to togethercrew.com, basic website. For the contributor path, if you go to, I'm going to put it in the chat, but if you go to arendao.io and you join the Discord, that's where the project is being hosted. So you join the Arendao Discord, introduce yourself, mentioning that you want to contribute to TogetherCrew, and the Arendao community manager will invite you to a call to explain how our ecosystem works and connect you to the team. It would be absolutely amazing to collaborate. As I was just saying to Jan, kind of like the real bottleneck for how fast and how amazing we can make this is how much we can collaborate and bring people together rather than duplicate the wheel. We generally work with what we call sweat equity. So anyone who contributes becomes a co-owner of the project. And this is our model, so we can kind of reduce that competition and duplication of efforts and rather try to create one great thing together and grow the pie rather than fighting over splitting the pie. That's the theory, at least. And any feedback on this, most appreciated. Thanks a lot for the interest.
Amazing. Thank you.
Rafael?
Okay, Victor, do you have any more questions before Rafael? All right, then, Rafael, over to you.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of a town hall, right? So now we have Victor with Daniel, both working together probably in the future. So that's why we need all of you to apply in new topics to come here with your projects and discuss. Yeah, that's a good outcome and example. Daniel, I'm amazed and also thrilled with what you are building there. I see a lot of overlappings with the deep funding operations, especially on the AI. I started creating this work group for working with so many tasks that your agent is already there. So we can definitely talk later on a follow-up to understand this. Amazing. Also with the reputation, I think a year ago, I've been pitching the use of NFTs, for instance, for the reputation. And I see that you are here, and it was internal, so you couldn't even know about me discussing these type of things. It just came from, so very nice. And if I understood correctly, it's a dynamic NFT that you're going to use for that, which is indeed the best solution here. But I have a question for you. What's the level of confidence of the agent or your platform regarding false positives, for instance? Because one of the issues that I see is, especially when you have...
Sorry, regarding what? Fast quality or
actually, the false positives that can come when the agent is reading and going through a conversation in WhatsApp or whatever, Telegram. Because you have this dynamic conversation that you can have the first information being false one. I mean, the person just typed the wrong link, and then after 2 days, someone comes with the right link, for instance, right? So the agent would have to go through the whole thing to understand this. So do you have a study or a number on reliability and level of confidence of the tool itself?
There is a number. I don't know it from the top of my head. I would need to speak with our AI scientist, who's the one that created some tests for these, and we're trying to improve it. Now, problematically, there are not a lot of benchmarks really for these type of tests. It's like a relatively new thing, or at least we didn't find a good benchmarkable test or system that we could use. So we're using our internal test and benchmarking against ourselves. So the number kind of has meaning for us to know whether we're improving the system, but not so much for external person that doesn't know about it. What I would say is that I think we are, through some tests in some communities, we're at the point that this is considered useful by average users. Like we have community managers who uninstall our bots. Then we came back to them and said, hey, we made more improvements. And they were like, okay, fine, now I'm going to keep it. So we're getting a few of those, but there is still room for improvement. Like essentially people still find it in customer support settings for like Web3 community type of environments. It's a net value creator. And again, a lot of work done here. These things are incredibly fiddly, as you can probably imagine, but it's already a useful thing. That's part of like the idea of having the multiple references. We're gonna add these. We end up kind of getting quite delayed with a migration to the a more multi-agent MCP, sorry, sort of architecture where the main agent could use tools. So that was kind of like a recent development that we did. And now we're starting to build those tools. So the link searching is a new thing that we're going to bring into production. And that would add a lot of reliability, because what we do is we go into the links, we crawl the links, we create a summary of the links, and then we use that summary to search. So it's not only what people said around the link or the link itself, but it's the real data of what the link says compared to the query, to the question that the person is asking. So this is not live yet. Give us maybe, I don't know how long. If I listen to my developers this week, probably a month. If I listen to my business people. So, but that's where we're working on.
No, yeah, thank you, and congratulations on the work. Really nice, and I want to see this integrated with Mattermost. Yay,
Yeah.
API probably, right? And if you need, well, some sort of test from our side as well with this, we would be more than keen to support. Okay.
Thank you. That most appreciated.
Okay, then. Thank you all. Rafael.
Yeah,
Over to
just
you.
a quick question for Daniel. Great job. Sounds like very interesting technology that so many people can use. Even I see myself using it, so definitely going to follow your work. But I was curious to know, what is the business model for this solution?
So right now it's free for everyone, which is completely unsustainable. We've been surviving thanks to like grants and collaborations with a few ecosystems. But the way we're exploring, originally we thought about charging community managers or communities to pay for this. And that becomes tremendously complicated because community managers usually don't have budgets. They need to ask for approval higher up, and they themselves are already often struggle to get budgets. And it became a very complex, convoluted sales process where unless we charge a lot for the tool, which means very few people could use it, the cost of business development was too high to make this sustainable. So instead of that, we're going to test an approach where it's free for communities. And if you're a community manager, you'll get nice analytics because we can already build that. And it's not the core of our value proposition, but is there. So might as well offer it to people. And then the individuals get basic functionality for free. And if they want more premium functionality, then they subscribe. So let's say you can get, the next experiment we're going to run is, I think you get daily automated summaries, or you can change the frequency, but automated summaries, let's say in the Telegram chat. And then if you want to, what we hear from a lot of people is they want to be able to talk with the bot in private, not in the main chat, but in private. So if you want to then go and have this dialogue and ask a bunch of questions, then you probably need to pay a subscription. And you could use the same subscription across all your communities, but then you convince the community managers to add it to the community. Or, well, if you control the community, you can add it directly. So that's a little bit the direction we're exploring. If anyone has any ideas, there is kind of like this whole tension in between what is a community-centric agent that has the information of a community and represents the community versus an individual personal assistant that has your data, but doesn't necessarily has permission to use the data from other people in the community. So there is kind of like this very complex thing there with, in one side, GDPR regulation and just basic data handling ethics, but in the other side around business models. So we're doing some sort of hybrid and trying to find our way there where the community managers agree, people can opt out and remove all their data from our tool. But otherwise, it's a more community-centric approach rather than individual personal assistant. I'm hoping maybe in the future that can change if wearables evolve more and you have kind of like more of your data, but that technology is still somewhat embryonic. And anyway, this is some of the biggest strategic questions we're trying to reason about and don't have a lot of clarity yet.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, it's definitely not easy, especially with the data part. That's a big issue. But I think what you're going for, having like a free model and then a premium model, I think that's very interesting because it opens the door for people to try. And if they find it useful, then they want something more, you can convert a lot of customers like that, hopefully.
Okay, Daniel, someone is asking, Abdul is asking in the chat box, would you mind API calls attracting some charges?
So we actually already integrated in the SingularityNET marketplace. I know we integrated and it was working, then it wasn't working, then we fix it. So I think it's working right now, but we would need to double check. But I understand actually through the SingularityNET marketplace, there could be some API calls to these. And anyhow, other than that as well, because I don't know the details of the technical implementation with the SNET marketplace, but the tool is also built modularly, so you could create multiple interfaces. That's kind of why I kind of use it in Discord and in Telegram and in a website, but it's kind of the same thing. Essentially, we have the tool in the middle. On one side, the data sources, and that's modular, so we can add more and more data sources. It just requires a bit of work to build the data pipeline, but it's not too complicated. And then the interfaces, which also requires a tiny bit of work, but we could build as many interfaces for people to query the thing with kind of TogetherCrew serving as the bridge between the two. So if anyone wanted to integrate this natively into an application that they have, it should be completely possible. Just kind of come and speak with us and we'll see how we can help you.
Okay, then, are there any more questions? Well done, Daniel. Such a brilliant idea. Are there any more questions for Daniel before he goes? Okay, Vamsi would also love to contribute as well. He's saying that he's worked in customer support bots, basically RAG chatbots and stuff, also building MCP servers currently, and he would love to contribute as well. So I think the same thing applies for Victor, right? The same way to reach out.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Just feel free to go that route. Feel free to mention that it was after a presentation with me, etc. And you can tag me as well in the RNDAO server. I'm just Daniel O there. And thank you guys a lot. Really appreciate the warm words and really appreciate the support and collaboration with SingularityNET. It wouldn't have been possible without you. So thanks again.
Okay. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you for coming to, debrief us on this amazing project. We can't wait for it to do all that it's intended to do. Thank you so much. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for those of you who have been here from the beginning till now. For those of you who've joined in the middle, welcome. We're almost done with the town hall for today. We are like 20 minutes.
The one is Nigerian, one is Ghanaian.
Till the round up. Okay, Abdul, you're raising your hand. Yes, please, Abdul.
Thank you very much, Mariam and members of the town hall. I appreciate you, Daniel, for that very wonderful presentation. It's very, very quite insightful, and I love the project. I actually want to make a little announcement on the open application on our community website. So I want to say and call to all our members to kindly check out the open roles, the Deep Funding community website. Most importantly, we are looking for people to apply to product owner, and there's a recent one from Dev Outreach, technical role, and marketing assistance internship. So all these are open that you guys can actually apply. Like I said, it is most important, and we are really interested in people applying to the product owner application. So thank you very much, and we will be very happy to receive your applications. So thank you. I'll be dropping the link in the chat.
Okay, then. Thank you, Abdul, for sharing. If you're interested, please follow the link. Okay, Presa, over to you.
Yes, I would also like to add that please take a time to follow us on LinkedIn and X, and you could join our Telegram community as well. We have all the important information you would like to know about deep funding. We have it there, and pass through the website to see all the amazing things other community hubs are also doing. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. Please, everyone, you use social media, please follow us on all of our accounts and on all the platforms that we are on. No problem, Kojo, that's totally fine. We understand. Okay, so to the last segment of today, we're supposed to be reflecting on events and initiatives so far. Rafael, over to you.
Which Rafael? You need to be more specific, Maria.
Team lead Rafael, Cardoso Rafael.
Rafael P or Rafael P?
Rafael.
Rafael, that is not Victor Maxwell.
All right, Rafael. Please, Cardoso Rafael, Portuguese Rafael.
I think it's really simple, but I can try to introduce it. So, and maybe Priscilla can also speak a little bit on it. So, previous town hall, I know many of you weren't here, but hopefully a few of you were. I couldn't make it here also, unfortunately. But we had a very an interesting initiative. We big to Deep Funding to come build new solutions using AI to make the world a better place. More specifically, we had the ideation challenge going on that is now becoming an hackathon. Great work from the Dev Outreach Circle. And in this ideation challenge, we were looking for ideas that would help bring peace, help people in areas of conflict, areas of war. And we brought people in from Congo who came to share a little bit about their experience, about how it is really passing through these tough situations so that we could better understand how to help. And we'd love to hear what you guys think. We are thinking as Event Circle also to try to bring people about other topics, sometimes related to AI, sometimes related to other things that could be interesting and different for us. But as it was a different event, we would love to hear what you guys that were there in the event thought about it. Any ideas? Did you enjoy it? Do you have any feedback on how to improve it? Priscilla, you were hosting this event. I don't know if you want to add something from your experience and from you being the host.
Yeah. I think you've said it all. So we just want to hear from the community on how best you think we could do something special. We know that even for this opportunity we gave Daniel, he has been able to explain what he's doing about with Hivemind. So now we already have an idea of what Daniel does. Exactly, we want to give the opportunity to everybody in the community. You could reach out to us, then you could let us know what you do. We let the community have an idea of what we do. Then we could link up through that. And the more we build this beautiful ecosystem in AI, the more people get to know about us, the more people also get to know about you. Yeah. So basically, that is all. We just want to have a link up between the community and Deep Funding. And on this channel, that is on this meeting, like the town hall, we can have all your ideas open up for everybody to see. And then, yeah, we go from there.
Yeah, just to complete, more specifically, things like these awarded teams, of course, you're all welcome. We want to bring more of you. The question here is more, did you like the last topic where we brought someone specific? And also, would you like the event circle to try to do that effort to bring certain topics, to bring people with expertise or that live through certain experiences that can speak a little bit about it more often? Or do you think it's something that's not that interesting? That's the question. I'd love if you guys can unmute or just answer in the chat. That would be amazing. Yeah, please help us.
Okay, thank you, Rafael. Thank you, Priscilla. Is there anybody who wants to share their insights, their thoughts on this call? Okay, Judith, please do.
Since no one is speaking up. I thought it was a brilliant idea to bring in people that could actually tell us how things are on the ground. In terms of the format, I think it was good. I think it's the most important part is to let them speak, ask questions, actively listen, and let them speak. But with this specific call 2 weeks ago, do you have anything planned in terms of now following up with them or connecting them to any of the initiatives? What's the next step you're going to take with these people, or what was this just a one-time thing?
Well, about that question, well, I think
Was
that's
there
something
any plans on following up with them, or?
Yeah. So to bring them again to the town hall, I don't know if there's a plan, but I think one thing we could do, even as 3 circles, that's something we need to discuss, is having them follow up with them to know what's the progress, right? So we're going to have an hackathon, we're going to have ideas coming out of this hackathon. So maybe showing a little bit what's happening there could be interesting to follow up with these individuals. In terms of
and how are you collecting or processing the data? Like everything they say in the town halls or in the meetings, what happens with that information?
Nothing specific will happen. What happens is it was here for the people to get in, for us as a community to know about the situation and maybe get inspired with some ideas. And it's also, I guess, recorded for that purpose, right? Do you have an idea of what to do with this information?
I mean, it would be nice if we could kind of build a database with their with the problems they talk about and their experience, and then maybe show that database to people that want to take part in the next ideation challenge and say, look, these are some real world problems that we know are existing. Maybe you want to come up with ideas to solve these specific problems, for example. Or maybe we can even have a funding round or any funding initiative specifically to build solutions to those problems.
I mean, hopefully, yeah, definitely we can have. We have the hackathon, which hopefully that's the idea, right? Is to select a few of these ideas and build something around that. But yeah, who knows? We can discuss as a community and even here with the Deep Funding team to see if they would be interesting to have a round more focus on that. We also have the RFPs can also be funded, right? So any of the good ideas that went there can be selected from the ideation and we can have RFPs on it. So now it will depend a little bit on the CRISP, whatever it is, the CRISP that we select, the people that are going to review these ideas. I guess they will have a big role to play as well there. Regarding the database, I think it's very interesting, but definitely we need to think how to do that. But who knows? Maybe something to discuss. Maybe data analytics wants to help us with that. I don't know. But
yeah, it would be. I mean, I know this is a bit complicated or difficult or a lot of work, but it would be really cool if we could bring in those groups of people and then listen to them and say, hey, listen, we can actually build something to help you with the specific conflict or with the specific problem. Like, it would be so cool if we could actually build them a custom solution somehow down the road.
Yeah, Judith, maybe let me see if I can jump in here. Yeah, thank you for that question. I think I think all through the whole conversation, I think if there's one thing that has always come from you is always, so what are we gonna do with all of this, right? So I think you're much more focused on, right, yeah, this was cool, this was nice, but what next? What is the essence? What is the goal? Right? Yeah, so yeah, thank you for always reminding us of that paradigm. So one thing I would say is primarily after the after the town hall 2 weeks ago, we noticed that there were a lot of ideas that came in as a result of that particular town hall. We saw ideas that were the indirect response. We could see people talking about minerals, right? And all through before that time, nobody was putting anything. People could not connect the nexus between peace and natural resource. But after that town hall, you could see people putting submissions that were related to natural resource, probably, and like different things, right? I'm just trying to say that on the first level, that level of awareness also created a level of awareness in the kind of solutions that were submitted. The second thing is that that community we will keep in touch, and every progress we are making, right, we will actually let them know, especially as we whatever is being built that we think might be relevant to them. Finally, what I did was I told them, right, can you guys go back? I actually encouraged them to submit their ideas on the portal, but I actually asked them to drop a document, like have an ideation session within themselves, and let us just see what are the ideas that will come up from their own ecosystem. So they've actually sent me a document. My intention is actually that when we have the whole AI for Peace initiative as we are going right now, I'm going to actually put this as one of the documents that we should look into, right? This document is actually coming from people who are directly experiencing war or whatever it is, right? So that's one of the documents that I'll be giving to you guys when we start up the whole initiative properly.
Okay, then thank you so much for that, Bill. And Judith, are you satisfied so far with the responses?
Yes.
Okay, then brilliant. All right, Rafael, Presa.
Yay! Yeah, thank you. One thing that my feedback from the last town hall, okay? One thing that I have some level of concern before that I shared with the three circle in such a meeting was for us as a program to take sides. Because normally discussions in the society that we have nowadays, it always goes to one side or the other extremes and etc. And honestly, I'm very happy with the result of what happened. And I would like to congratulate everyone that were involved in this presentation or event, because it was very neutral. It was exactly what I imagined that it should be, to bring and surface information on issues and problems that are happening there. So in a way that people can jump in and based on their expertise and background on AI, to try to solve those problems. So, and I think we achieved it and you achieved that. So again, congratulations. And I'm looking forward for the next one. Hopefully with the same approach, right? On another note here, from my perspective now, one thing that was very interesting, and it connects with what we have taught before. When we talk about peace, AI for peace, we are not only talking about one side against other or conflicts in general in this sense. We can also be talking about internal peace, right? We can be talking about peace of mind as well. And this was because one thing is when you read an article or watch in news, the conflict, for instance, in this case, Congo, which give us an overview of a conflict. But when we have people, specific people here, individuals, we are able to also summarize the feeling of them, and we can clearly see that we can also use AI to solve this type of peace. So one way of thinking can be, how can we use AI to bring peace of mind for those that are involved in such terrible situation, right? It's not necessarily and only about, hey, let's use AI to end the conflict, which would be amazing if we achieve, but we can also be thinking in an individual basis and scope. And that was very clear for me. So again, kudos to the team for bringing this initiative. And by the way, one last thing, perhaps following what Judith said, inquire, we can perhaps, Rafael, put marketing circle to create shorts on the main short videos, right? On the main topics of what we discussed and what these people brought, to be able to educate those that are going to participate into the hackathon ideation and so on in a better way than the whole video of the town hall.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and I think that's what the marketing circle has already planned to do. So yeah, it's great that we're all aligned. Definitely, great idea, and thank you, Ubio, Judith, Rafael, for the feedback. If anyone else wants to give feedback, feel free. If not, if not, please. Or if you prefer to give feedback, I guess, outside this call, just reach me on Mattermost or wherever, and would love to get your feedback as well. Well,
all right, then. Thank you. Yes, Ariel, sorry, my apologies. My network kicked me out. I'm back. So, Ariel, your hand is up.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody that contributed towards the feedback towards that teamed town hall. And I just wanted to say that we at the Three Circles, we do not, and we did not, take for granted that event. That was a very important event. And today, when we had a call previously, it was about reviewing, what the town hall was, what was really good about it, what could be better, and I just want to say that we want this to be the first of many, and then we hope that we can do so much good, with same topic or and then other teams as well. So this is just to say thank you to everybody, and that all feedback are considered golden. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone who has shared, from Judith, from Dan to Aya. And thank you to everyone who was a part of the last town hall. It really was something. Okay, yeah, and we are almost out of time, but we are basically right on time. Please, if you have any more suggestions for the event circle concerning how we run our events, please do reach Rafael. Your opinions are very much welcome and very much needed. Just a quick announcement. So there are open roles in the community right now, and I'm leaving the link in the chat box. There's a technical, and these, I'm just going to be listing out the roles that are, most pressing, that the applications have to be filled before May 31st. That is the last Saturday of this month. So there's a technical role. We need someone who has around 2 years of experience in their technical field with basic knowledge of Web3 and blockchain, good communication skills, fluent in English, written and verbal. And yes, please apply before the 31st of May. There's also a marketing assistant, an internship role. As a marketing assistant, you help spread the word about deep funding by reviewing and creating documents, drafting posts, blogs, and press releases, as well as supporting many other endeavors. Also apply before May 31st. There's a product owner role under the marketing circle as well. Marketing circle is seeking for a capable, self-steering product owner and webmaster to lead the development of our community websites and related subsites. So if you're interested in this, please apply before June 5th, 2025 this year. And and that's basically all the current open roles. So if you know someone, or if you are someone who fits the descriptions of any of these roles, please apply. Deep Funding needs you. This is a community that is after you. Yes, I was going to announce it, but yes, thank you so much for also sharing. Anyways, in case we're going to run out of time. Okay, so yeah, we are out of time, but Silva, Siva, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Over to you.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the session and bringing up such good ideas and giving some overview of those things like what's going on and what others are building on. And it's quite interesting, and the session is also very helpful. But one thing I would like to know is the current RFP which is there in the deep fund, like the current ongoing RFP. I mean,
Okay.
critical quantum computing models. So I thought in this session, you would be covering any topic related to that, like giving an overview of how those proposals should be. Like, I expected something on that. Is there any other session which is going to happen discussing on that?
Okay, all right. And so Siva is asking what current RFPs are currently ongoing and who's going to like, give a breakdown, when we're going to give a breakdown of those RFPs to see how the proposals are going to be like. Who wants to answer from the grandfathers? Cardoso, Presa, Ayo, Yan. Who wants to answer, Siva, please?
Siva, one question for you. Do you have any specific questions you want to ask?
Yeah, for that quantum computing RFP, I have a question like, is there any chance of considering the RFPs related to the signature verifications, like using VRFs, something like that, verifiable random functions? Is there any scope of considering those type of things?
All right. Let's do it like this, Siva. Can you give me your contact and I can put you directly in touch with the people that are the ones responsible for creating the RFP? Because this way I think you can ask like these questions and more questions that you potentially have. And hopefully you'll feel more enlightened to participate. Do you have any contact you could share, maybe in the chat, something like that?
Sure. Can I share my mail?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay then. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll reach out to you, so pay attention to your email and your spam as well, just eventually. Thank you,
Okay,
Siva.
thank you, Rafael. Yan.
Yeah, just a remark. I don't have the answer to this specific question. Quantum resistant encryption is not my main strength, but I would motivate you to ask these questions also in the comments part of the RFP, because that way we will not only be answering you, but we will be answering everybody else that might have the same question. So we can do it both ways. I don't want to block any quick answers, especially because the RFPs are not alive that long anymore. But in general, if you have any such question about you want to have some clarification on an RFP, please just add it, ask it in the comments tab of the RFP itself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'll do that next time.
Great.
Okay, then. All right, family members, friends, loved ones. We have come to the end of the second town hall of the month, and you are special because you stayed from beginning to the end. Well, if you did not stay from beginning to the end, well, yeah, still special. No hard judgments. And we are out of time, so it is time to go. Because personally, I have football to go and watch. Well, thank you everybody for participating in today's town hall. I noticed that a few people are not present. So if you know one such person who usually comes for town halls but isn't here today, be your brother's keeper, like the good book says. I think the good book says that. So please reach out to who wasn't here today and say, yes, I am a Barcelona fan of you. So please reach out to who was supposed to be here but isn't here. For instance, I don't think Vanny is here, and I did not hear Andrea's voice. I think she's I think she's on the call, but I didn't hear her voice. So please reach out to those you are supposed to reach out to. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for participating today, sharing your thoughts, your insights. It was a pleasure hosting everybody today. If there is nothing else, I think we can call it a night. So yeah, good night or
Good night.
evening.
Well done, Miriam.
Wherever you are. Thank you so much.
Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Abdul.
Thank you.
Bye.
And then somebody should reach out to
bye.
Miriam when Barcelona loses the match.
Yes,
But
she's
Barcelona
coming to
cannot
Ghana.
lose the
We are
match.
shipping her from
That
Nigeria
is
to
that
Ghana.
is a lie from the pit of hell. Barcelona cannot. Me that I'm going to carry trophy this night. Good night, all. Be on the winning side, UBO. Be on the winning
Bye,
side.
guys.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.